challenge. South Carolina's playing really good basketball, as you would expect with Frank's teams. They defend about as well as anybody in the country. Really disruptive, make it hard for you to run your offense, get any kind of flow. Their big guys are very mobile, and I think defend ball screens and protect the rim, and then obviously they rebound it very well too. So P.J. Dozier's terrific player. He's really having a good year. And Dwayne Notice is one of those senior guards that can really shoot it and experienced winner. So it'll be a great environment. Should be a fun game to play and coach in.
Coach, obviously nobody knows what's going to happen with Zendarius Thornwell. Do you just have to assume he's going to play, or?
Yeah, it doesn't change how we prepare too much. You just we certainly understand his tendencies, and you watch the film, and he's all over the film. He's a terrific player, and he's having an outstanding year, and he's making shots. He's always been a very good driver of the basketball, and a very competitive guy. We've known him for a long time, since high school. So, but it doesn't change, how they play or what they're doing. They've had some time to adjust. The last couple of games without him, they've got some guys that are playing well. Mackey stepped in and done some nice things for him. Gravette, I think, is the guard's name that plays a lot and is a good player. They have good pieces. Frank plays a lot of guys. He always had. He always plays 9 or 10 guys, and certainly they're probably better with him, but they're very good without him as well.
Going back to the Alabama game, you've won 6 in a row now, but that was a big road win. How much of a barometer is that for you to kind of gauge where this team is at, to beat a good team on the road?
It was good just from the standpoint of a good road win, in a good environment, 11,000 people there. Guys, I thought, played with good confidence and pretty good poise. I thought we were very good defensively in the game, and did some things to frustrate Alabama. I thought we rebounded the ball better, and I think the time that we were here, the 5-game homestand, was good for this team from the standpoint of being able to have some consistent practices. I think we weren't traveling around. We had played some good competition in the tournament, and so we found some things that we wanted to work on, and I think we did some good things during that time to get better. Certainly we won our home games, but I think it was reflective of our performance at Alabama that we've been making improvements.
Held them just 54 points and 15% from 3. Are you more pleased with the defensive effort you got from them?
Certainly. I think we played very well defensively against Alabama. In a lot of ways, I thought our individual defense was much better. Certainly better than the South Carolina State game. We didn't guard on the ball nearly as well as we needed to. And that was, obviously an area of improvement, and some things we've done in practice to try to get better in that area. I think we did that, and certainly that'll be important in this game as well.
Elijah Thomas missed his first 3 free throws, but after that he kind of settled in, had 5 points, I think, and a few rebounds. How pleased are you with the minutes you were able to get from him?
Yeah, I'm real pleased. I think he played well. It's like I told everybody, be a little patient with him. He's a talented guy. He's got great hands, finishes things around the rim. I think he was probably a little nervous on the free throws. He wants to do well. Hasn't played a lot, and so in his college career, so there's going to be a settling in process. But he certainly adds a lot to our team. He's another guy with size who can rebound. You can throw it to him on the block. He can do some things down there for you, and he keeps improving in his defense. That'll help him stay on the floor. He's gotten into some foul trouble, in that game, and I think we anticipated that a little bit just from practices. So he's just got to get used to the speed, but certainly really glad that he's here, and I think he can really help this team.
Speaking of foul trouble, I think City. I think they called a lot of fouls on you, 19 or 20, but City was able to stay in the game, not foul out.
Yeah.
How much does it help in that regard to have a guy like Eli Thomas?
It does. We need more front court depth. I think Legend has given us some good minutes. I thought he really helped us in the Georgia game. But Eli just has a little more offensive package, and so he can do some more things. We can run more things, not only for him but for other guys by playing through the 5, which we like to do some. So, that's what makes it a little bit tougher for Ledge. We have to do some different things offensively when he's in there, and so yeah, it's good to have more depth in the front court. We just you need it in games like South Carolina and in our league when we play big, strong, physical teams. It's there's going to be foul calls, and you just need depth.
Coach, after a few blowout wins here at home, how important do you think that win on the road at Alabama was in preparation for the South Carolina game?
I think it was good just to play a big, strong, physical team, and a team that has similar type athletes that can come at you with speed and size and physicality and rebounding, and so I do think that was significant. A little bit of a change up, from the last few games where we've been, the superior team athletically, and I think our guys rose to the occasion. I think they really, played with great purpose at Alabama. I thought that was, clearly evident from even our slower start when they got up 6-0. We were fine. Everybody settled in, relaxed. I think we had a good feeling. We had good preparation. We had several days to get ready, and went there with a good plan, and the guys executed very well.
Avery was 3 for 6 from the arc against Alabama. It seems like his knee's okay. Any lingering effects at all?
He did some practice yesterday. We didn't do as much physically. Just day after a game, it's tough. This is a quick turnaround for a team that's big and strong and physical. You'd like to have a couple of days to kind of really get after it in practice, but it's really not what you can do in this situation. We'll try to have a little more physical practice today, do more things of guarding their stuff live. But yesterday was tougher for us to do some of that. It was more working on some execution of things and watching a little film and shooting and going through a couple things, but we really couldn't go through with the kind of pace and physicality that you need to get ready. So we'll try to do more of that today and see how guys feel.
Not to oversimplify the matchup tomorrow night, but you got a 6'7", 6'8" guy who can score in and out. They got a slasher who's about 6'6". Dozier, maybe Dante's confident. But the bottom line is Dozier's kind of special for them.
Right.
We're on special view. But for two teams that play defense, is it almost as simple as whoever is able to shut down either of those?
I don't know. It's a good question. I think both teams have complementary pieces, but certainly, Dozier for them is outstanding, and he's a guy that can take over the game. Really, he had a tremendous game and was probably a big difference maker the first time we played last year. He just, his size was difficult for our smaller guards. He shot over top of us and made a bunch of big shots. We'll have to do a better job on him. And then for us, I think we're showing that we have more pieces this year, and we don't always have to rely on Jerron, kind of like we did last year. Last year we had to run so many things through him and play off of him, and we still try to do that a good bit, but I think we have more guys that are aggressive, more guys with confidence, who've played enough now to feel good about their games to go make plays, and I think that'll be really important for our team, is that we have multiple guys making plays in the game and not just Jerron.
And along those lines, Shelton seems like you got to respect that drive. Someone else has to collapse on him, not just one. And then
Yeah, we hope so. I think his ability to penetrate helps everybody on the team. There's no question that his size and he's got some shiftiness to him. He's one of those guys that can change his pace, which I think sometimes that's hard to teach guys that, just the ability to have poise and know when to go fast and when to slow down. And Shelton will be an important player in tomorrow's game for us because of the way they play and the amount of pressure they put on the ball.
I know he's 2 years removed from playing in the SEC. Some of the rosters for South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia turned over, but has he been of any help in?
Yeah, really, we haven't talked much about it with him.
Just on tendencies of other guys.
Yeah. I think for the most part, because of the availability of film, that we've watched every one of their games, and so we pretty much know what their guys do, and they're going to know what we do, and there aren't many secrets anymore. It's So you just gotta go make plays. And I think that's really what the game is about, and especially offensively when you play against South Carolina, that's really what you have to do as players. This is a player's game because of the nature of the way they defend, and our guys need to go in there and play confidently for them.
How much was
And how you guys defend? You're both good defensive teams? Or
They're
different?
just, they're as up the line, on the line as anybody in the country, them and maybe West Virginia. They're so disruptive, they're not gonna let you make passes. They do everything in their power to take you out of your offensive flow, and as a result, you know, most teams, you just can't run your normal stuff against them. You have to make other types of adjustments. You tweak some things you have, and then, you know, it becomes more of a player's game. The player's gotta go make plays, and I think, you know, you have to have certain kind of athletes to do that. It's one thing to know how to do it, but it's another thing to execute it at the highest of levels, and I think West Virginia and South Carolina are two of the best teams in the country at it, because they've got terrific athletes that Frank gets to do what they need to do, and they, you know, they're gonna work extremely hard on every possession. They don't take possessions off, and he subs guys a lot to keep them fresh, and they just apply tremendous ball pressure on passers, so it's hard to see. And then they have length. I mean, they just, you know, Dozier at 6'6", and, you know, Mackey's 6'5". They just have length in almost every position. Obviously, their big guys are very mobile and can get out and defend ball screens and deny passes. And so it's, you know, it's a whole philosophical, you know, issue really. It's not just how you play or coaching guys to play that way. To be really good at it, you got to recruit to it. You got to sell into all the things that go with it. You got to be willing to play people, and you know, Frank certainly has done that extremely well.
He doesn't press that much, though, does he?
Not a lot. No, they do a lot of three-quarters. They do some three-quarter stuff, but they just pick you up at half and tear the numbers off your jersey and guard the heck out of you.
when you are pressed like you were at Alabama, how nice is it to have multiple guys that can handle the ball so well?
It is. Yeah, we have a bunch of guys that we feel comfortable, you know, making passes, and you know, we want to go attack. We don't want to just be passive. We want to go play against the press to score. I think this team is equipped to do that more than some of the teams we've had in the past.
Did it seem like Dante was really fighting through that fever? How
Yeah, I think he's better. I think he's just was really weak. You know, he didn't practice for a couple days, and you know, the day before the game he practiced, but didn't practice